Good morning all, how are we doing? All good? Just having a quick look at US dollar CAD at the moment. Just trying to get an aggressive position on this one, so not going anywhere. Excuse me. At the moment, all the US is basically have completely stalled, and I've got US on, and it's just not going anywhere. So we've got this little liquidity run that we did last week, which I took these two aggressive positions on and did some drawdown control. We're just coming back down to these lows again today, right now, and we've got this level from here back in June, 28th of June, which they haven't swept yet. So what I'm planning to do today is either, if they sweep this and push, or get an aggressive position on, or I'm just going to get into an aggressive position with a stop down here in case they sweep this. So I've just put a pending order in the market up here. Whoops. Oh, sorry, no, I haven't. I put a pending order here. This buy stop, just there. So we've just put in a double bottom by the looks of things. Not quite. So basically looking for a bounce today to gather me into that position to move up, because I'm a little, not very worried about this one, but just a little concerned as to why the US dollar's got no movement. I mean, if it was dropping, fine. If it's going up, fine. But the fact it's going sideways is worrying me, because this is a big accumulation, and what I don't want is them to react badly to the rates on Wednesday. So I'm pretty sure we're going to get a push on the US dollar on Wednesday, but I'm just playing it cautious. So I'm just trying to get my average down a little, and I'll take a TP there, and I will do a little bit more drawdown control on one of these if we get that push today. So I'm just planning that US dollar CAD additional position. Yesterday didn't manage to bank much. Morning, Stevie, Awo, Fabio. Banked 3.3% yesterday on oil. That's all I did. So I haven't got it on this one. So that's all I did yesterday. Just banked that one. That's that. And then we had a little gap down this morning. We've pushed up nicely. So I posted this in the Telegram group this morning. Today is the day. Potentially we get the breakout of this trend. So we've obviously got this nice trend line. This is where I was expecting a reaction, and then I was expecting a breakthrough. And you can see I bought loads into this trend line, and then they broke it just slightly, reacted off of it. I was expecting then a pullback and break. For this to be peak formation low, high, higher low, higher high. We didn't do that. We've pulled back deeper. So see, I've got one on there. That's the one I took yesterday. So we are still a higher low. So I'm looking for them now to put a higher high in and start challenging these highs and market structure to shift back to the upside. So hopefully today we get that smash through. I don't want to see it break, and I just want to see it fly through all this. So that's the plan on oil today. It's going the right way at the moment. Upside target is a 150 on this, so just hold it as long as you like if you're in it, but I'll be getting in and out and in and out and in and out constantly as we're going up. So that's all I banked yesterday. Got some oil on I can take off today. I've got some Aussie dollar, CAD and pound US I can take off today. I've got a couple of other positions which are really close to break even. There's no drawdown on anything really, apart from US dollar CAD, which is why I'm working US dollar CAD at the moment, trying to get some drawdown control on it. Morning, Themba. So yeah, a bit of a crap day yesterday, complete sideways, awful. So yeah, I did $2 grand on futures yesterday, which was nice. I didn't trade Globex. I had a trade on in Globex, which I held for the whole of Globex, which is why I just don't trade Globex anymore, because it either grinds hideously, it's too slow, or it chops you to death. So, but I managed to make $2,000. The vast majority of that was in New York yesterday. So yeah, there's a recap of yesterday. Today there's very light news day again. We've got consumer confidence this afternoon at 3 o'clock, half an hour after the market open. Doesn't tend to really do a lot. We do get some movement off of it, but it's not something really that tends to move the market massively. I've never understood why it's a red news. They survey 3,000 people and ask them what they think about everything, basically the overall economic, as it says here, the overall economic situation. 3,000 random households. So, depending on the 3,000 you ask this month, will depend on the type of response you get. So, I've never understood why they've classed it as red news, but the Fed does pay attention to it. So, not the biggest survey in the world. It's a little bit like the University of Michigan one. Ask a load of students what they think about it. Well, obviously it's going to be completely different to the guys in the households which are struggling to pay their mortgages. So, it's all very weird. But anyway, so that's all we've got today. Apart from that, there's no other news. Manufacturing index, which isn't anything. So tomorrow morning is CPI for the Aussie, and then tomorrow evening is FOMC. So we're all building up for FOMC. So the market's been pretty flat ahead of FOMC at the moment. We'll have a look at everything in a minute. Overnight news, nothing much to report at all. So all a bit flat. There's a bit of Bank of Japan stuff. Let me just refresh that and just see if I can go back a bit further. Moody's have lowered European growth predictions. Nothing exciting. So yeah, no overnight news either. So there you go. Dead, isn't it? Morning, Jesse. So gap fill this morning, DAX. We've got the DAX has put in a small gap, not a very big one. So there is a small gap to fill. These quite often will fill straight away, quite quickly. We've just taken out the liquidity of yesterday's session. So may well see this quick gap fill play this morning. I've got 2 futures positions on at the moment to play this gap fill on the ES. So I'm either going to fill it at the open or I'm going to get stopped out, one or the other. It's kind of my only play for the day, but we've got this for the morning. We've got this gap fill, so I've got some futures positions on at the moment to break that. So I've got one position on here, I've got a second position just under there, and I've got a third position just there. So I'm looking for them to break that hard, get some momentum, pull back, fill the gap. So quick scalp play this morning. If I can get that on, that's me done for the day, because that'll be where's the gap? 39.74. That'll be $800. So that will do me very nice. So hoping to see a load of green here continuously all morning, which is, oh, there goes the open. It's a bit quiet, isn't it? Tick strike. Where's the volume? Turn him up a bit. There we go. So we just double bottomed on a DAX there, and double bottomed on the ES. Is that it? Morning, Neo. There we go. That's better. Thank you. So just watching all the highs basically See if we can make some progress and get this done early. Approaching highs on the ES. Look at that spread. Massive. That's why we don't trade the ES in the mornings, trade the DAX. Much tighter spread. Because if you remember, this market's not actually open, this is the Globex session. So, morning RK. We'll have a look at the FX pairs in a minute. Just going to want to see what happens at these highs. I want to see a pop this morning. I want to see a good solid breakthrough of these highs really, because I'll be 3 contracts long, so I want to make sure I get a good run on them. Oh, sorry, it's 39.61 is what I'm looking to break. Is that it? Another lackluster open. There we go. Let's have a bit of oomph. We didn't manage to get the highs. Well, I'll leave that. It's not going anywhere fast, is it? We've got 1.5 minutes to the close of this initial opening candle, but it doesn't seem particularly busy. Monitor that one. What I've got on at the moment, I have Aussie CAD. Just go out to the hourly so we can see what I got on. Yeah, ran out of gas, Diamond. Morning. Yeah. Everything's running out of gas at the moment. It's the story of my life for the last 2 weeks. Literally, I feel like the market has just got no intent to do anything at the moment. It's just like, yeah, we'll amble along at a snail's pace and I'll get there at some point, which is really frustrating because it means you just have to sit in positions longer. But Aussie CAD being a prime example of that. We've had like a 3-day amble to the upside, not getting anywhere near an ADR. Look at that market structure, it's beautiful. Dying, 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 dying. Short. So Aussie dollar CAD, I've got multiple positions on this one. I seem to constantly have something in profit on this thing that never actually gets far enough for me to TP it. So this position up here, I've got a TP at this position there. So I'm looking to take that off when we get down there. But overall, I still like this short, really like this short. We're in a perfect spot for a reversal. We've got this area which has held really, really nicely since Friday. Every attempt at the highs we've had has been rejected. So it's like cutting the hair at the top there, just not moving anywhere to the upside. Equally, we can't get that reversal alert and that break to the downside either. So we've just got it on the hourly chart. And it's retesting at the moment. So hopefully this is the final sweep of the high, and we're now going to get that momentum to the downside started. But it's the Canadian dollar. The Canadian dollar's just not got the legs at the minute. So it's really, the Aussie dollar's running away a little bit with it. So I've got that one on at the moment. I've got the pound US dollar short. Very similar story on this one. Looking for this to be final run. I've got one position here that I'm looking to take off down here. I'm going to take one of these off as well here because I'm a little bit too close together on these. You know, I've been milking it to the downside, but we haven't gone anywhere since last Monday. Literally, last Monday we pushed up and pulled back. So basically, we made a little bit of ground, and then we sat there. And then Friday this week we've had a little push up. So again, waiting for FOMC, US dollar strength, tank. But all waiting on the US dollar basically. New Zealand dollar Swiss, I've had multiple opportunities to get out of this. Had another opportunity yesterday to get out of it. I took a profit off of it yesterday. I've only got these two positions on here. I think I'm toying with the idea of just scrapping this and freeing up my liquidity because this is just not going anywhere at all. We're now into our third week of sideways. The moving average has come down very nicely and caught up with it. When we get to this point, I expect the price to get pushed to the downside, but we're just accumulating. We're still not getting anywhere on it. So I'm just getting ready to take off my futures position because I don't like the look of this, going flat. I'm just going to put a position back in on a break of the high. I'm going to put one there as well. I've just basically scratched that position on the ES long. I'm going to take a break of this high, though. I should do this on the ES where you can actually see what the hell I'm talking about. So I'm getting back in. I've got a position sitting up there, and I've got a position sitting somewhere around there. So I will get back into it, but I didn't like that price action. Wicky, look at it, it's just massively wicky at the minute. Sorry, New Zealand dollar Swiss, yeah, so I'm looking to get out of this. I still like it as a short based on Swiss franc strength, but the Swiss franc didn't power up obviously on the Euro news because the Euro didn't power up on the Euro news. So we're just holding this level at the minute. I'm sure it's going to go. I just can't be bothered to wait, to be honest. So and US dollar CAD. Got my longs on. I've got that aggressive position on that I'm looking to take this morning. When we get an M15 reversal alert. So I should be getting into an aggressive position there, looking to get out towards these highs at some point. But again, US dollar CAD, I'm waiting on the US dollar. We've got these lows here, which haven't been tested yet. So I think they'll probably come down and maybe sweep this low before Wednesday evening. So I've got a stop on this one as an aggressive position, which is just over, just about 0.3%, which is decent for an aggressive position. And obviously if I get this position on this morning, my average will come down, and I'll hopefully have an exit opportunity on it. But I don't want to exit. I want the US dollar to power up. It's just not happening at the minute. So, and I've got the oil on, obviously. Which I'm looking for a break of the trend line today. So that's what I've got on. Everything's flat, no ADRs, no weeklies, no hourlies, no 4 hourlies. Anybody got anything else I want to discuss? There's nothing happening. Market's flat, market's sideways. So yeah, I'm not gonna. There's not much point in me running through everything from yesterday unless you really want me to. I'm quite happy to if you want me to, but there's nothing much else out there to look at the moment. Everything is just sideways or waiting on the US dollar. And unfortunately, we are going to continue to wait on the US dollar until tomorrow evening. This is very typical of an FOMC week, flat and sideways. So it's just going to be a grindy week. So you've just got to try and grind out any profits you can. as and when they appear, which is what I did with the oil yesterday. I just wanted something in the bank yesterday, so I took a 0.3. Didn't get a chance to put it back on because it went into profit. So again, I've got a 0.3 available to take right now there, but I got a good feeling about oil today. I think we might get an ADR hit on oil today. Everything else is just, the waiting game. So I'll have a quick flick through everything, but if anybody's got anything else they want to look at, let me know and I will focus on it a bit more. But we'll have a look at the indices to start off with. That's gone totally dead as well. Look, it's earnings week this week as well. Wrong one. Where are we? So this week, what's the date? 26th. So we have 3M, Coke, General Motors, General Electric, and McDonald's pre-market. Aftermarket, we've got Google and Microsoft and Visa. And then pre-market, tomorrow we've got Boeing, the CME Group, always a good one, Shopify and Spotify. Then aftermarket, we've got Etsy, Facebook, Qualcomm, etc., etc. So, and we've got Apple and Amazon on Thursday, and Intel and Roku. So these are the three biggest days from a earnings perspective that we get in earnings season. So basically, yeah, we're going to get some volatility today on the indices, I would expect. Pound Swiss, yeah, I'll have a look at Pound Swiss. So yesterday, we'll start off with the DAX, because the DAX is stuck, obviously, at the moment. But anyway, as everything else is. The DAX is a little different to the US indices. Obviously, the earnings week earnings fortnight does affect the DAX, but not quite as much as it affects, obviously, the US indices. The DAX still has big players from big sectors in it. So obviously when we get sector buys on things like Boeing having good earnings, the aerospace sector will get a pump. Anything in the aerospace sector in the DAX will also get a pump. So it does tend to pump across all the indices at the same time, but the DAX is a little bit different. So we're still stuck within the weekly control candle. We wouldn't expect it to get out of there yesterday. Another bearish day yesterday on the DAX. Nice wick to the upside. We pushed up and then we pulled back. So big wicks to the upside. So there's still downward pressure following 2 down days and another big shooting star that we had on Friday. So again, looking really for some kind of downward movement. Obviously intraday, if it pushes up, you can play the shorts. If it goes out the gates, which is not doing anything at the moment, you could go short on it as well. But still holding. The fly in the ointment at the moment for me is this gap. I get the feeling it's really trying to reach this, but it's not managing to get there. So if we get good earnings over the next 3 days across the board on the US indices, we could have a big run up to there. And of course, everybody that is new is saying the bear run's over because the market's moving up. The market's moving up because there's positive earnings coming out. It's not anything else, but we got a couple of weeks of happiness, and then after the couple of weeks of happiness is over, everyone will turn around and go, oh yeah, it's doom and gloom, recession and interest rates. So it will all change. But DAX is pushing out the lows at the moment. So is the S&P. Failed. Some fairly big orders came in there on the sell side. Looks like they were all absorbed. So I think we're going to range today. So DAX basically looking for shorts. So NASDAQ, we had a good push up. and a drop, and then we ended with a sort of spinning top. So again, nice bearish engulfing on Friday, followed by a down candle yesterday. So we are all sort of hovering at the minute up at this 72. We've broken out of the highs, we've pushed up into resistance. I get the feeling though, over the next 2 to 3 days we might see a little bit more bullish action. I think we're going to get fairly good earnings figures on some of these retail players, but it's difficult to tell. So at the moment with earnings season, you really just need to let the market tell you which way to go. So if you get the market run on strong volume, you want to be running with it. If you see it dropping, you want to be dropping with it. So it's all about volume and momentum in earnings, because you get these big moves, but they're not necessarily directional. They're just people loading up in stocks and getting rid of stocks based on the earnings. So bull day yesterday there, bear day yesterday there, obviously dependent on what stock earnings are coming out. Obviously tech sector didn't do as well as the rest of the stock market yesterday, so you're going to get divergence. Yesterday we had the Dow which was pushing down really hard, yet the Nasdaq and the ES were pushing up. So you get a lot of divergence based on earnings. So these markets tend to go a little bit out of sync during earnings season. Big day up on the Dow, bullish engulfing, you see, whereas we didn't get that on the other indices. So yeah, overall bearish, but I'm open to bull moves on news. As I say, 3 days, big 3 days coming. Oil, we know I'm looking for a break of there. Gold, we had that bullish engulfing go in. We've had the reversal alert put in on the daily. So things are starting to look up. We didn't get down to the level that I was looking for them to test, but we got close as damn it. So I would class that pretty much as this is done. There is a chance they're going to come down and do a liquidity run on that level. Bear in mind, this is just across with the US dollar. If the US dollar powers up tomorrow, gold is going to come down. So be aware, there is still a level there of liquidity. There's no liquidity sitting here. Yeah, you know, this is a year ago. No one in their right mind, even an investor, is going to be long with a stop under there for a year. Okay, so, and the same with this. So this isn't really going to be a level that's going to get run for liquidity, but it's an area where people will start to buy up. There'll be limit orders set at this level because this is a level that was bought previously. Therefore, people will buy it again here, and that I think is probably what we've had there. But just bear in mind, we've got US dollar tomorrow with FOMC. Oh dear, poor old Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, a little bit out of sync with the indices yesterday. Down day for Bitcoin, everything else was all right. I'm assuming Ethereum had a down day too, yeah. So it's holding the 72 nicely. No idea where it's going to go, don't ask me. Just gone long one on the ES. No, I didn't. Oh, missed me by a tick. Now I'm long one ES. So looking for a break and gap fill. Right, run through the pairs. So who wanted to look at what? Pound Swiss. We'll start off with Pound Swiss, because if you want to go then after Pound Swiss, you can do. You can be excused, because you probably heard all this yesterday. So Pound Swiss is a short. Swiss franc strength. Let me just turn the crickets down a little bit. We can see what's going on. It's bullish. Yeah, so Pound Swiss, I'm short on, based on pound being flat on its backside at the moment and the Swiss franc having the big move. Continuation shorts basically, but again, at the moment, all we're doing is kind of going sideways. So this is week 1, 2, 3, 4, week 5 sideways. Just waiting basically for the Swiss franc, which I've got this horrible feeling is not going to happen. I think the Swissie's just gone neutral like the euro at the moment. So either way, when we get some strength coming through the Swissie, i.e. we get some news from the yen or from the US dollar, money will move through the Swiss banking system, and the Swissie quite often will get a pump with the US dollar. So hoping that we might get a move off of the back of that. But at the moment, the Swiss franc's pretty flat, isn't it? So hence this one obviously going sideways, because we've really got that sort of bias at the minute, just because there's no power in the Swiss franc. So ranges, looking for these highs, or these highs really, for short opportunities. So any ADR hits to the upside, I'll be looking to short it. Any RSI hits to the upside, I'll be looking to short it. Right now, you're bang in the middle of a range. You don't want to trade in the middle of a range. So yeah, nothing there. Quickly whizzing through the Aussies. Aussie CAD, I'm short, still short, like it short still. Just waiting for the Canadian dollar to power up. It's obviously a massive downtrend. We've got this level up at ADR, which is also the 72, which if we can get up to there, hopefully we'll get a bounce there, but it's very, very orderly on the way up. It's been grinding. There's no real need for a big profit take move on this, because it's been kind of taking profit all the way along the way. But saying that, long-term investors that have been adding to their positions long will at some point exit those positions and we'll get a dump on it. Hoping that the CAD is going to be the catalyst for that, but again, we've got no CAD news coming up, and the Canadian dollar hasn't got any strength at the moment. So we've got to wait. Got GDP on Friday, which might do something. We've got unemployment following Friday with non-farm. So it's just, this is the problem. There's just no catalyst to move anything. So we're flat on everything. So yeah, short, waiting for shorts to kick in basically on the CAD. Aussie dollar Swiss, very similar story, waiting for Swiss franc strength. Aussie dollar is just neutral at the moment, so it's just gradually grinding against all these currencies which are expected to be strong and aren't being strong at the moment. It's just grinding away really, very, very slowly. So I'd be interested in short opportunities on this one as well. We're getting to an area of interest here, so if we got an ADR hit up into this area, I'd be all over it. But right now it's very difficult to tell a direction. This is probably not a bad area. Yeah, where we are right now is a very good potential resistance, but we have knocked on the door 6 times now, and we've kind of broken through it. So, but I mean, there's no volume. This isn't what I class as a breakout. This is just sort of peeking your head through the door to see if you want to walk through it, isn't it? I don't want to take this. I mean, really, all you are is at the top of the range. So yeah, potentially it's a nice looking short, but what are you going to get out of it? Based on current price action, there's 90 pips there, which is actually an ADR and a half, because it's only 57. I like it short, but I don't like it that short that much where it is right now. So yeah, nothing interesting. Aussie dollar yen. So yen's, I think, sideways still. I've got no bullish or bearish bias on the yen whatsoever at the minute. I'm expecting the yen to power up at some point soon, but Kuroda's just not pulling his finger out and doing anything about their current situation. So I'm really looking for tests of highs to see if we get any breakouts and then buying long. So I'm kind of long everything against the yen at the moment, with a target obviously would be up at the recent highs. But again, we're not getting any movement down that's getting extended enough for me to get interested in any of these yens. So again, it's all too weak. Everything's just too weak in the market at the minute, really, for any decent opportunities. Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar is a good long. As you can see, I was longing the hell out of it for 3 weeks. The next time it came down, I couldn't get in because I was already exposed, and we got that contracted breakout to the upside. So again, targeting these highs. When we get up to these highs, probably a nice little short opportunity, but I'm going to wait for it to go short so I can get in long. So just waiting for long opportunities on that. Missed the boat on this one at the minute. Aussie US short. Again, anything against the US dollar at the moment, I'd be comfortable getting in short on. So, you know, Aussie US, take short, pound US, euro US, whatever you want US basically, assuming that FOMC, we've got a rate announcement coming out tomorrow on FOMC that is going to potentially boost the US dollar. So yeah, short everything basically against the US. Wait for a reversal alerts. We're up. This is a very difficult one to pick a level on this one. You see there's loads of levels on here. Just about to get a break of the highs on the ES. It's just testing Globex session highs. Go on. Let's have a big run of green. So a pop. We've got just over 100 contracts just gone long on ES in a batch. Looks like it might need a run up. God, this is awful. Yeah, so we might need a run up at that. We'll see. Got 2 minutes left on that candle, but there's 150 batch of contracts just gone long, and about another 50, 60 smaller players. So there was a bit of a momentum play there, but didn't happen. Oops, wrong one. Yeah, so Aussie dollar, US dollar, short. It's very difficult to pick a level, so kind of getting short anytime you like. It's nicely extended to the upside at the moment. It's over the 60 line. At the moment, anything over the 60 line, I kind of take, because nothing's got any strength to get anywhere near RSI extensions. There is no relative strength in any currency at the minute, so there's nothing getting extended on RSIs really. Any hourly RSI extensions at the moment, you can probably take pretty much every single one of those and they'll probably all play out. So yeah, just wait for any kind of move to the downside potentially to get in position. So depending on obviously what your exposure is on the US dollar, make sure you don't get yourself overexposed. I've got 2 long US dollars. I'm not taking any more US dollar because obviously then if something does go wrong with the US dollar tomorrow, I'm only going to be in the hold on 2, not on 4 or 5 positions. So like it short. CAD Swiss sideways mess, not a clue. Canadian dollar strength, yeah, just mess, choppy sideways mess. If you want to take some shorts at the highs, fine. If you want to take some lows, long, fine. But I mean, just not very good. CAD yen longs, we had a lovely bounce off the 24, same as we've had for the last couple of weeks. Again, CAD yen, waiting for CAD strength. Yen is at the moment continuously weak. The CAD strength is not there at the minute. So again, waiting on the CAD. Swiss yen, same thing, waiting on the Swissy, nothing happening with the Swissy. There's just nothing happening with anything, you know, it's like a broken record at the moment. Literally, we get the odd bit of news which moves something a little bit and then it just kind of goes like that. And then you get a bit of news and then it just, that's literally price action at the moment. It's just hideous. Summer month trading is just terrible. Euros, oh my god, we've got bears coming in now. We weren't able to break those highs. So like I said, hopefully we're just going to now take a run up at that level again. So looking for that level to hold 39.53 ish. 39.55, 39.53. So I'm just moving my stop ever so slightly because I think we're going to get a run up. I don't want to get stopped out because I'm still feeling long on it. Yeah, Euro. I don't have any faith in the Euro after that rate announcement. The market was not impressed with 0.5. They've been not impressed with the Eurozone for years because they've had flat interest rates. Then they get a chance to do something about it, and they do go over forecast, but they only go to 0.5, and I think the market wanted more. So I think I'm still short on the Euro. So as it stands right now, favourite pairs would be Euro CAD, Euro US dollar, potentially Euro Swiss for shorts. So Euro odd, again, I'd like it for shorts, but I want to be up here somewhere. We're just sort of down at these lows at the moment. Euro CAD, we've got nice lower lows going in at the moment. So we're contracting nicely in a symmetrical triangle. So break to the downside on Euro CAD looks pretty good. But you know what trying to get into this sort of stuff at the moment is very, very, very difficult because nothing is pushing anywhere. You're getting no extensions. We're just literally stuck. That was your entry up there. Lower time frames virtually take any reversal alert short that you get and you'll get a profit out of it at the moment. So you can kind of trade this short constantly, expecting Canadian dollar strength, and as one of those trades is going to be a big one. Just challenging the highs again on the ES. Come on. Euro Swiss, same thing. So Euro Swissy, just going out to a longer view, you can see obviously when we have a weak euro, the Swiss franc is in control because there's more money goes through the Swiss than goes through the euro. From a financial services, from a banking perspective, so you tend to get more strength. We've just had that massive rate announcement on the Swissy, which has powered the Swissy up nicely. So this has got to be a short Euro Swiss. So again, looking for any opportunities on long, moving up to highs. So anywhere up here, I'd be interested. Anywhere up here. So anywhere above ADR. So again, same thing. ADR hits to the upside, looking for shorts. Moves up to the 24, looking for shorts. RSI extensions, looking for shorts. On the hourly RSI extensions, last one you had was up there. Then we went into a horrible accumulation before we dropped. But you know, any extensions, just looking for short opportunities. So you know, if this pushes up to ADR today, I'll be in short. It's just we're not getting anywhere, are we, at the minute? Euro pound, really don't know what's going to happen with this one now. We got a very weak currency, potentially, that's what it looks like against a weak currency. The same sort of thing, you're going to get this very slow, gradual, choppy move, but I think it's probably going to be more like that moving forward. It's 57 ADR, just don't tie your money up in euro pound, it's not worth it. Euro yen, only one I would pick long on the euro because of the yen weakness. Euro is likely to be stronger than the yen, although at the moment obviously nothing is strong against anything. But I like this one as a short-term long, but I don't think you're going to get any opportunities to get into it. There was a long down there, but that was just before the rate announcement was coming up. I wasn't interested, and I was also on the CAD yen at the time, so I didn't take this. Which would have worked out very nicely. So potentially you could get into this anytime now, really, and you've got an opportunity possibly to get some strength. With the US dollar news coming up from FOMC tomorrow, there is a potential we may get a little bit of yen strength as well. That comes on sometimes with the US dollar strength, and same with the yen. When the yen powers up, the US dollar quite often will go with it as well. So just be aware you might get a little bit of strength tomorrow off the yen. But the way the market's going at the moment, I just don't think there's enough interest really to move anything very far at all, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. But there's much better yen pairs out there. CAD yen, US yen, pound yen, Oz yen, New Zealand yen, any other yen I think is probably a better bet really than the euro yen. Euro US dollar, looking for shorts. Obviously rate announcement, nothing. Like it's short based on US dollar, but again you're sideways on it, so lower time frames, drop down, any reversal alert short you want to take it. We just had one short there, but we had one long there. Whenever you see this, if you've got the reversal alert indicator, wherever you see this happening, where you have a reversal alert followed by a reversal alert, it means we're in a tight range, which means don't trade. So it's not good trading conditions basically. But if we get any pushes and reversals, so if we come up and take out these highs, yes, be interested in something up there. But at the moment, while we're chopping around in the middle, there's nothing you can do with it. Pound odd shorts. So we had a lovely bounce off of the lows, and we are collapsing because the pound is a short. Aussie dollar not really doing a lot at the minute, so it's doing better than obviously the pound. So we're looking for short opportunities, but again, didn't have any opportunities to get in short on it last week. Didn't really the week before. The only one I got into was this one up here, which I took off quick because it was just not looking particularly rosy. So in hindsight, if you'd have held it for 4 weeks, woohoo. But who holds anything for 4 weeks? So it's like 3.5 ADR drop. So shorts on that. Pound CAD shorts, waiting for CAD strength. Pound is nice and weak. So there was an entry on that yesterday. Did the hourly get extended yesterday? No. So you can't, there's nothing, just not getting any alerts at the moment. That was a nice little short yesterday, but no opportunity really to alert me to get into it. So yeah, nice short, but again, I want I want some. I need something to go with it. I can't just take a short because I'm short biased on the pound and long biased on the CAD. I need to get to a level where I think we're going to either a double top or we get to a period of previous support which will turn into resistance, or we get to a nice area of balance after a push where we start to accumulate, or we get up to the 24. I need a confluence to get in. We're just not getting anywhere at the minute to give me any confluence to get into any of these positions. Pound Swiss, same sort of thing. Highs, 24, ADR, something. I want to get in short on it, but at the moment we've just double bottomed. I don't want to be long in this pair. I want to be shorting it. Any kind of extension, just nothing at the moment really speaking to me. Oh my God. What have we got today? I don't know what this market's waiting for today, but just pushing down on the indices again. Pound yen, yeah, we're stuck in a contraction. Slightly more long than short, but again, not really interested in longing the pound. The pound and the euro, I think, are the weakest longs you can take against the yen. Anything else against the yen is better because these two are so weak at the moment. Pound New Zealand, again, shorts. Right, so we got a little bit of an extension there. Oh my God, look at that. So that 4 days. When was the last extension we had? 18th, Monday last week. We had an extension to the upside. Yeah, short. I mean, potentially we're there now. Look. So we've got this area of support resistance which we're tapping into, which I quite like as a short. can't really take it because of New Zealand dollar exposure. But yeah, again, you know, look at what we're doing. Really, I'm selling at the lows. Really, aren't I? If I sell it here, I'm selling into support. So you get a 3/4 an ADR out of it, or half an ADR, something like that. Just not really a great trade short, but I like it short. I like the pound US dollar short more, which I'm already in. Again, we've pushed up into an accumulation on this one. We've not been able to take out these highs, so we've just had a nice shooting star going at the moment, but again, we haven't had that 4-hour reversal on the hourly. We can't quite get that reversal alert in. It's looking good. We've taken out the highs this morning during Asia, so it's cleared the decks, it's swept all the liquidity from up there. We've got all the doors open for a short. It's just not going anywhere at the moment, and I think possibly what we're going to see is something like that going into FOMC, but you never know. We might get a nice surprise. We might get some volatility today, but judging by the way Frankfurt's opened this morning, there's just nobody interested. They're all on holiday, or trying to go on holiday. Can't leave the UK at the moment. Ports are shut, airports are in chaos, COVID's running rampant, doom and gloom. We've got nobody running the country, nobody's driving the ship. Anyway, not anybody else's problem. New Zealand dollar CAD, like it's short. Again, we're just taking out liquidity up at the highs on Friday, and we're starting to run down, but again, we are just starting to run down. It's going to take one 4-hour candle to bring us back to where we were. There's just no volume, no volatility in the market at all. I see this as kind of a flag move, but very extended and protracted. So look at where we've come up to the 24 before the drop the last 2 times. Looking for that to continue, but we're waiting on the CAD. Again, just waiting. We're just sitting waiting for some news catalysts or something to happen to one of these currencies to kickstart everything, and it's just not happening at the minute. So Wednesday evening. New Zealand dollar Swiss, I've already got this one on short. Swiss is just dead in the water. New Zealand dollar is the weaker of the 2 Australasians, which is sideways, not getting anywhere. This is why I want to get out of this. It's tying up my Swiss franc exposure on something that's 3 weeks sideways. I just need to get out of this to free up the Swissy, which is probably what I'm going to do today. I just need a 0.4 drop, and I can escape those positions. But I still like it short. I still like it short. If you look at what we've done, hourly is the easiest time frame to see this one on. Whoops. So the market structure has definitely shifted. We put in a new peak formation high on that breakout. So we had an area balance where we were happy to conduct business. We had price discovery to the upside. Market rejected it and brought us back into balance. So we've got peak formation high. We put in a new low. We've pushed up. We've put in a lower high, and we've put in a lower low. So market structure has shifted to the downside. This is our lower high. We should now get the lower low, hence the TP being down at these lows, ADR. But look at the price action on the hourly. That's just shocking. Nothing. We're not interested. This is. I just get the feeling this is either going to go. It's going to do the sort of move that we saw yesterday to undo that V-shaped recovery there, and we're going to get this low in today. In which case, if I see volume coming in, if I see a whacking great bearish candle come in, followed by another decent bearish candle, I'll probably hold this, but I'll probably move break-even average on it, and then if it pushes back up and stays in this hideous range, I'll just be out of the position, break even, no harm done. I've made a bit of money on it, but if we get the volume at some point today, then obviously I'll see if I can let it run, but I still like it short. I still really like it short. It's just normally when you get the 24 pulling down on top of price, we get a reaction. At the moment, we've just going flat on the 24 sideways. There is no reaction. like the market's just not seen it. New Zealand dollar yen, like as a long, same as the Aussie dollar yen. This is the sort of the second best yen long, I think. There was an entry back there last week. Was it last week? No, it was this week. It was yesterday. Yeah. Why didn't I take that one? It's because it conflicts with my New Zealand short I've got on here. So yeah, there was an opportunity long there. There was one on the Aussie New Zealand Aussie yen as well, very similar. Didn't get an ADR, an RSI hit on that one as we did on the New Zealand dollar yen, but it only just tapped it and went from the 24. So nice opportunity there, missed it. New Zealand dollar, US dollar, like it short based on US dollar strength. We're coming up into this nice area of congestion, which we've rejected. We're holding these highs at the moment. So just looking for the weight of sellers to just kickstart this one with the US dollar tomorrow. Short. US dollar CAD, I'm long at the moment. So I've got that buy stop on. We've just pushed down a little bit more this morning by the looks of things. Just putting a 3-bar reversal in. So we've just taken the liquidity from this low. And it looks like they're buying up that liquidity at the moment. But we've still got this other level, this other lower black line basically. Here. So this is the ultimate low. Which has potentially got the last area of liquidity under it. So if we can get a push down under there today, I will drag this buy stop down. So basically we've got the reversal alert there now. If we push down, we'll probably get a reversal alert lower down here. So I should be getting in down here with a much tighter stop. So just moving the position basically, but keeping the stop in place roughly about there. Looking to get that entry long. Getting myself positioned for FOMC tomorrow basically. US dollar Swiss, mess. No idea what's happening with this one at the moment. It's just stuck. We had nice rounded bottoms. Potentially we could be doing the same thing. We could equally come down to here, but I'm expecting US dollar to power up. So this is where you could get into a nice long. You've probably just had a reverse alert, yeah, this morning on it. So, but again, you know, look, just the reason you've had that is because we're sideways, not because we've had a strong push and potential reversal starting. We're just in accumulation, but I still like it long. US dollar Swiss. Where it's going, I don't know. Could come up and test this area. Could come up and try a double top. I really don't know where it will go because it depends on what happens with the Swiss franc and whether that powers up as well. So, but equally tomorrow, based on FOMC, I like it long. And US dollar yen, nice looking long opportunity there. So we just pulled back nicely into the RSI. This is the one I would have taken, but I had my US dollar. I've got US dollar long twice, so I can't take it. But yes, like it. Definitely like it ahead of FOMC for a long and take out the highs. Or at least come and challenge the highs. So good ADR push tomorrow, potentially on the cards. So there you go, there's everything. Still nothing much I can find of interest. But, you know, that's because of my exposure and what I've got on. If you've got different exposure to me, some of those things I've run through that look pretty good, you could probably take. Blinded. I got a question. Recently got a Mac. Does everything work as before on MT4? No. Macs are terrible. Can't use MT4 on a Mac unless you're using an emulator. I don't know anything about Macs, but it's one for the group to ask. You can't on the Mac. You can run MT4 on the Mac, but the MT4 on the Mac can't access the market. So if you bought indicators, you can't access the market. Therefore, you can't download indicators and have them validated. It's not an MT4 thing, it's a Mac thing, apparently. I don't know what, but everybody that runs Macs runs some kind of emulation software to turn it into Windows. Why didn't buy a Windows PC? For trading, that is, obviously. But yeah, no, not very good, unfortunately. I don't know much about it, so it's something you need to kind of Google. But you know, trading PCs, trading machines should be a games-based PC. You know, RAM and CPU is the most important thing. Graphics card not so much, unless you're running futures software, which is graphical. But MT4 doesn't use GPUs much at all. It's all about CPU and RAM and Windows. We're just testing these highs again. Just trying to run up into the highs. That is our third knock on the door. Next one, we're through. Got a big block order up here. 65s. Just can't get through. Can't get through at the minute. Look at that for chop. Pick a direction, people. Not good. Delta's down today, so that's what's keeping the market at bay at the minute. We've just got more sellers hitting the bid as soon as we get to the highs, basically. Yesterday, really good inside bar New York session yesterday. This is what I did yesterday. I was a buyer and a seller all day yesterday, and you can, let me just explode this out, make it easier to see. Basically, all I did yesterday was these are the 30-minute trading sessions. Yesterday, every time we moved out the trading session, I bought. Every time we moved out the higher value area, I sold. So I sold value area high and I bought value area low all day yesterday, and that is all I did. And it was the profile from heaven. I think I lost 3 trades yesterday. It was just beautiful. It's a lovely profile yesterday. Very easy to trade. But it's a stall. This is a stall. So remember I was saying last week we've had multiple run-ups. Then we put in an indecision, 2 indecision profiles basically. So the market is like not sure up here, and then yesterday we were like waiting. Yeah, so this is us waiting basically for all of those massive news events to come out. The market had no direction. It was a rotation day. So today, when New York opens, and tomorrow and Thursday and potentially Friday, because we've got aftermarket news on Thursday, earnings releases, we could have some big explosive moves today. So some big trend-based days like these. So big push and then finish with a P-shaped profile, which indicates moves higher. So we've got a few days of potential moves to the upside ahead of us, I think, but it all depends on earnings. Diamond, I'm on Mac. Oh yeah, MT4 is useless. Use a VPS. All right, yeah. Yeah, get a VPS. There's a link in the Telegram group, Sammy, to a VPS. The one that I use is there. I'll post it in a Telegram group now for you. But Forex VPS is who I've used. I've used them for years. I don't have any problems with them. I don't know what the cost is on it, but see if there's a lightweight emulating software. Yeah, that's what everybody seems to do. If you only want to run one MT4 on a VPS though, it's super cheap. I mean, to run VP or MT4 on a VPS, really just a single MT4, you only really need an 8 gig RAM, 2 CPU VPS. That's more than enough. Oh my goodness. Come on. As soon as we break this high, this 62.25s, we should get a monster pop out the highs. I say monster pop, I mean there's literally no volume, so there we go. Big orders come in there. There's our pop. Really? Got a positive delta move on the Dow and the ES and the Nasdaq. My God. I'm not going to push this morning, I don't think. Don't forget I'm going for the gap fill here, which seems miles away. There we go. They're still small orders. I mean, these are 20s. These are not big players. These are big retail coming in at the moment, making this move. It's not. There's not a lot of big boys. There's no big boys out there at the moment. So 39.70s, somewhere up there is where I would look for that to get to. So I want to see this hold. This needs to hold this break. If this break falls back down within the opening range, I think we're in trouble this morning. Look at this, nothing's moving. I'm tempted to bank this today, right now, just to get 0.3% in the bank. I've just got a feeling we're not going to get anything today. Everything is just super quiet. So we've got this big order sitting at the moment at 65, although he's just pulled that and put it back again. So that looks like a spoof to me. That's not a real order. So market structure. So I'd be looking basically for this level here not to get invalidated. So I can put my stops basically just under the point of control, and I'll basically trail up, assuming this trade actually manages to go, and we do manage to grind up to get the fill this morning. To be honest though, I think what I'm going to do is not go for the fill, and I'm just going to take $500. If I can get $500 out of the Globex session, I'll be happy. And then I haven't got to trade it and worry about it and babysit it all morning, which is what I did yesterday. My trade yesterday on Globex is the longest trade I've taken probably ever. 5 hours. How long was it? 25th. 5 hours 22 minutes. I sat here yesterday in Globex, 5 hours 22 minutes. And it moved a grand total of 59 ticks. This is why, I mean, especially in summer months, you can't trade this thing in the mornings. It's just awful. Grabbing $100 out of it is just like literally like pulling teeth. Not good. So looking for a pullback, probably that step there, 59.25 is what I'd look to hold. Value area high. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one off up there, which is $250, assuming we get there. And then I'm going to break even the second position and see if we can get a run up to the highs, up to the gap fill. But this could take forever, so I probably won't sit here and make you watch this because this is boring as hell. There's no volume, it's just literally nothing coming through on the tape. It's all retail, look, ones and twos. Four, couple of ones. Yeah, it's dead. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing this morning. I'm going to babysit this. I'm either going to go $450 down, or I'm going to go roughly $400 odd up, $500 up. Maybe a bit more if we get a run this morning, but that's the only trade I'm taking this morning on Globex on the futures account. I'm not trading it otherwise. The only trades I like on this are the first sort of hour to hour and a half of Frankfurt, and just trying to find those momentum moves initially. Which this is kind of it. This is the breakout of the Frankfurt range, which is what I've got into. But whether it gets there within the next couple of hours to where I want it to be or not, it's not something I have to babysit. So it's kind of a set and forget trade. I can just basically say I'm in now. I'm either right or I'm wrong about the gap fill, because this is a gap play. If I'm wrong about the gap fill, I'm out. If I'm right about the gap fill, brilliant. Other than that, I'm not going to try to enter any new positions on this morning, because it's just not going anywhere fast enough. I don't think there's any European news this morning. We've got CBI distribution for the pound at 11. China FDI, Canadian wholesale. No, there's nothing else. So there is no news catalyst whatsoever. Even yellow, there's nothing this morning. Big sell order just come in there. Probably looking for 2 or 3 ticks, so we'll probably find that will get undone in a minute and we'll push back up again. Yeah. Dead. Flat as a proverbial pancake. Pound US dollar seems to be making ever such slight headway back down to the downside. Need those Asian lows to break. If we get the Asian lows broken, we've got a very good chance of making these TPs this morning. This TP is here because of this high and this high here. So I'm assuming we're going to run into potentially some support there. So I'm just getting out of those two just before we hit these highs. But overall, obviously, I'd like it short. All these positions, kind of, these USs, they're just sitting there at the moment, waiting for tomorrow for FOMC. So they're kind of positions waiting for news. Whoops. So yeah. Right, I'll leave it there. I won't bore you with anything else because there's nothing to do. So go off and do something else. Go and play with the EA and the strategy tester or something. Something more productive than watching paint dry, which is basically what we've got this morning. So hopefully we'll just get some movement in the right direction, but doesn't look like the market is particularly interested in anything this morning, so we'll see what happens. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 7:50, same time. Just be aware of news events for tomorrow morning. Aussie dollar overnight, we've got the CPI for Aussie dollar. Could well power up the Aussie dollar, which is not good for me because I've got an Aussie short on, but equally we could get nothing off of that, which is kind of what we've seen for a couple of CPIs, haven't we? They either go mental or they don't do anything at all. So I would just be aware of it. Maybe set some TPs up on your Aussie dollars. I've got mine set up. My Aussie dollar CAD, I've got TPs in place down here on one position. So I'm basically playing off the fact that we will hopefully get moves to the downside on the Aussie dollar. So if we can get any kind of movement towards these lows by end of play today, I'm hoping to either get spiked out with a profit or obviously exit nicely with a profit on all the positions. So yeah, it's nothing I can do. I'm going to be asleep when that news is out, so I've got TPs in place to deal with it for me. But apart from that, that's it. So we'll just sit here, wait, hope that something moves and gives an opportunity to extract some cash. And I'll be trading some futures this afternoon. I will try this afternoon if I can and do a recording of my futures session in New York. I didn't manage to yesterday. It was all a bit slow yesterday. But I need to sit there with the screen recorder on, which means I can't do any of the other bits and pieces I normally do. So I will try and get that done, and then I can put that in the futures group for those interested and just have a look at a session basically. But I would imagine my sessions are pretty similar to yours. So you'll probably look at it and go, actually, it doesn't do anything much different. But I'll talk through what I'm looking at and why I'm looking at it and all that sort of stuff. So, all right. So if you need anything, come in the Telegram group. I will be in there. Otherwise, hopefully have a good afternoon. We can extract some money out of this, and I'll see you tomorrow morning, 7:50 at the same time. Have a good afternoon.